Of course, we have witnessed crude oil softening from 120 to the Brent is at 100 now. But still, $100 per barrel, it gives some kind of a respite to the Indian economy. But still, $100 for India, still it is a negative zone in terms of the sentiment is concerned. We need to see the crude cooling off decisively to $80 to $90. That's where the Indian market can take strength in the medium to short term.
Right, okay, of course, those elevated crude prices, even despite the correction, are particularly high for India. Also coming on the back, Kranti, of the fact that the Russian crude discount has in fact now turned into a premium. In fact, India is paying a lot more to import those Russian crude oil as well. So overall, the oil story, even though the charts tell us the crude oil, Brent crude is trading at $100, the cost for India is a lot more than those $100. So overall, what kind of an impact on inflation are we likely to see, and how soon are we likely to see it, assuming that the war in West Asia is now pretty much coming to an end?
Karthik, one thing is we need to see how the crude is going to behave in the next couple of weeks. And also, till now, the government is absorbing the rise in the crude oil. The oil marketing companies have been absorbing. Now, is the oil marketing companies are going to tinker and going to pass on the rise in the crude oil prices to the end consumer, then definitely the inflationary worries will prop up again. And last 18 months, we have witnessed RBI softening its stance with respect to inflation. It is under RBI's comfort level, but it can go out of the comfort level. And whatever the rate cut cycle that we witnessed, that can take a bigger pause in the medium to short term. Look at Australian Central Bank. 48 hours back, they increased their interest rates. But still, India is concerned, we have not witnessed any kind of the inflationary pressure in a tangible way. If that we are going to witness in a tangible way, that's where the real problem can prop in for Indian markets in the medium to short term. So how long this elevated crude is going to be is extremely crucial for Indian markets in the medium to short term.
All right. Okay, let's stay with that story a little longer, Kranti, if you'll permit me, because there are also the secondary effects of the crisis in West Asia and the restrictions that we are seeing on crude. And one among them happens to be, of course, plastic packaging, heavily reliant on petroleum coming in from around the world, including the Gulf region. Now, this shortfall of plastic is likely to, impact the FMCG margins, and some are saying that shrinkflation concerns, where packet sizes are reduced without really inflating the prices, is something which is also likely to hit India sometime soon. What kind of impact do you see plastic packaging and the reduced supply have on FMCG stocks?
Definitely, Karthik. What you mentioned is a very vital and key point for FMCG companies. If the prolonged elevated level of high crude oil prices, it's going to have impact on a whole lot of crude derivatives, and that impact we are seeing in the plastic at in the initial stage. Karthik, on just a lighter note, even the toothpaste what we use have a derivatives of crude oil. If the crude oil is going to be at an elevated level, you can see the increase of the prices in toothpaste also, which is an inflationary environment. That kind of a influence and impact the crude oil is going to have in the medium to short term. If the crude oil is going to at an elevated level.
All right, of course. So that is the impact that consumers would be wise bracing for. Meanwhile, some stocks in focus this morning. Bajaj Auto, a 34% year-on-year rise in net profit to about 2,750 crore rupees or so, announced a dividend of 150 rupees per share. Overall, the stock seems to be up about 3% or so. But overall, how do you see the year ahead, and what are you making of the management commentary when it comes to Bajaj Auto?
Karthik, Bajaj Auto have demonstrated a standout kind of a performance, given the kind of a shift that's taking place in terms of the two-wheelers are concerned. Bajaj Auto with a ICE engines, they could able to give a standout performance. But going ahead, how the company is going to shift towards the EV is concerned, that is extremely crucial for Bajaj Auto. If the crude oil is going to be at a elevated level, there will be a greater focus that's going to come back with respect to the electric two-wheelers are concerned. And Bajaj Auto last year, they come up with a CNG vehicle. But that's not how given some kind of a booster to the sales are concerned. Still, they relied on ICE engines in the medium to short term. But the future is how they are going to shift in terms of the EV and the other alternative fuels are concerned. That's going to play a key role for Bajaj Auto for a longer term perspective.
All right. Okay. And one more stock I want to pick your brains on this morning, Kranti Patini, comes from Paytm. Vijay Shekhar Sharma. For the first time, a full year net profit of 552 crore rupees has been announced. Can we assume now with the banking license also withdrawal and all the ghosts of the past seemingly buried, is this pretty much a turning point for Paytm to focus on its core business and really show shareholders that their sort of investments and their patience is likely to reap them benefits now?
Absolutely, Karthik. Paytm is the stock to see the way how the company has rebounded and resilient from the low of 200 levels and 250 levels 18 months back. But they could able to focus on the profitability in a very hard way. That's where the company could able to deliver. From here onwards, if the company could able to focus on the core business and improve its key revenue parameters, we can see the company can sustain these price levels and go forward from these levels also. We can expect some kind of a mid-teen returns from Paytm if the company could able to sustain these profit margins going ahead.
Right, Kranti Patini, let's leave it at that this morning. As always, pleasure having you here with us on News9, and thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Karthik. Always my pleasure.
And with that, we will slip into another short break. When we come back, we'll bring you the story of the twist in China's AI tale, with DeepSeek looking at a $50 billion valuation in its first ever fundraise. We'll bring you that story and a lot more on the other side of the break. You are watching News9.
New Birla Opus exterior paint gives warranty up to 16 years. Who believes that? I believe.
I do.
I do. I believe it too. New Birla Opus paints gives up to 16 years warranty on walls. That's why it's the new paint for a new era.
मेरे केस बैकलॉग को क्लियर करने के लिए एक सिस्टम बनाओ।
Welcome back. You're watching News9. This is Morning Brief at 9. Let's shift focus now to the other war. Ukraine has accused Russia of violating a ceasefire proposed by Kyiv, saying Moscow continued attacks across the front lines. Ukrainian officials say Russian forces carried out dozens of battlefield assaults on Wednesday, along with airstrikes and drone attacks, despite calls for a pause in fighting. The accusations come amid renewed diplomatic efforts to secure a broader ceasefire, even as the war continues to intensify on the ground.
Rescue workers extinguished a fire at a kindergarten in the northeastern Ukrainian city of Sumy on Wednesday after it was struck by a Russian drone, though no children were inside at the time. The regional governor said the strike killed at least 2 people, including a security guard. It was one of several attacks around the country Wednesday, as Ukraine accused Russia of flouting a Kyiv-proposed ceasefire. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky had floated the ceasefire starting on May 6th in response to Russian leader Vladimir Putin's own proposed truce from May 8th to 9th to coincide with its World War II victory commemorations. Russia has not agreed to the Ukrainian proposal. Moscow stepped up security ahead of a slimmed-down version of its annual military parade in the city, citing an increased threat of Ukrainian attacks. Zelensky said, citing Ukrainian intelligence, that Russia was concentrating its air defenses around Moscow, a fact that creates additional opportunities for long-range attacks by Ukraine elsewhere. On Monday, Russia's defense ministry had warned that it would respond to Ukrainian attacks during victory celebrations with a massive missile attack on the Ukrainian capital.